Last time we have derived wave-particle duality relation for photon, and the relation was lambda equal to h upon p. We have derived this particular relation by treating photon as a particle in some situation as well as photon as a wave in some other situation. And we have landed up with this particular equation where lambda is wavelength of light associated with photon and p is momentum of photon. This is called wave particle duality relation, which has been derived for photon or light. De Broglie assumed that this relation must be true for moving material particle. So if m is mass of the particle and v is velocity, then p is its linear momentum. The same relation must be true for moving material particle having mass m moving with velocity v, and where p is linear momentum of that particular particle. And therefore lambda equal to h upon mv. This is called de Broglie relation or relation for de Broglie wavelength lambda, or expression for wavelength associated with moving material particle. And this de Broglie wavelength lambda associated with moving material particle depends on two parameters, namely mass of the particle as well as velocity of the particle. One must note that in this relation lambda equal to h upon p, where p is mv, this relation is true for all velocities. There is no exception, it's true for all velocities. So let us consider the first case of non-relativistic particle. Non-relativistic particle is one which moves with a velocity which is much smaller than velocity of a light. So a non-relativistic particle is one for which v, its velocity, is much smaller than c. Then for such a non-relativistic particle or for such a non-relativistic velocities, the kinetic energy of the particle is given by T equal to 1/2 mv square, and this can be written as p square upon 2m. Multiplying and dividing numerator and denominator both by m, you get m square v square in the numerator and twice m in the denominator. So this is expression for kinetic energy. So this T equal to p square upon 2m gives me p equal to square root of twice mt. So if momentum has this particular value, then de Broglie relation becomes lambda equal to h upon p equal to h upon square root of twice mt. So this is one of the important relation which we have. Suppose this as 1 and this as 2. Then what this relation tells us? This relation tells us that you can calculate de Broglie wavelength associated with moving material particle if its mass and kinetic energy are known. If these two parameters, namely m and t, are known, then you can calculate de Broglie wavelength associated with that particular moving material particle. Then another case is of relativistic particle. Relativistic particle is one for whose velocity is comparable to velocity of a light. So a relativistic particle is one for which v is of the order of c. Then for such a relativistic particle, total energy E is given by this expression, E square equal to p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4, where E is total energy of that relativistic particle moving with velocity of a light, such as photon. E is kinetic energy plus rest mass energy. So for E square, what I am writing is T plus m0 c square bracket square equal to P square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. Then expanding this square bracket, T square plus twice m0 t c square plus m0 square c raised to 4, a square plus twice ab plus b square, p square c square plus m0 square c raised to 4. This m0 c square, m0 c square on both the sides get cancelled, and I have expression for pc square. So what I get for pc is square root of this particular quantity. I am taking t outside, t, and then square root of 1 plus twice m0 c square divided by t. If t is taken outside, t is there, and what I have taken outside is the t square under radical sign, which is t. So this is the expression for Pc, and therefore for momentum I am getting t by c square root of 1 plus twice m0 c square divided by t. Okay, so I have got expression for momentum P. Then since lambda equal to h upon P, lambda expression for de Broglie wavelength becomes, the c goes in the numerator, hc divided by t, and then square root of 1 plus twice m0 c square divided by t. This is one of the important relation which we have. This is our expression number 3, expression for de Broglie wavelength associated with relativistic particle. The particle, the one which moves or moving with the velocity of a light. So what you must know if you want to calculate de Broglie wavelength associated with relativistic particle, hc, these are constant. If you know kinetic energy and its rest mass, you can calculate de Broglie wavelength associated with that particular particle. Now, since quantum mechanics deals with microscopic phenomena or phenomena involving microscopic particles, in atomic and nuclear physics, we are concerned with the charged particles such as electrons, protons, alpha particles, etc. So if a particle having mass m carrying charge q is moving, then it has kinetic energy which is given by T equal to qv. Okay, if a charge particle carrying charge q is accelerated by potential v, then its kinetic energy is given by this particular relation. We have already derived the expression for non-relativistic particle, namely lambda equal to h upon square root of twice mt. This will become h square root of 2mqv. 2mqv. Next expression number 4. Okay, this is the expression for de Broglie wavelength associated with charge, associated with a charged particle having mass m accelerated by potential v from the rest. Accelerated by potential from the rest. This particular expression, if I am writing for electron, then de Broglie wavelength associated with charged particle like electron will become Planck's constant h square root of 2 times m mass of electron 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31. Then instead of substituting these values, this expression will become 2 times mass of the electron multiplied by charge on electron multiplied by accelerating potential V. So this is expression for de Broglie wavelength associated with an electron. So in SI unit, we will substitute values of these constants such as mass, charge of an electron and so on, Planck's constant, and we will calculate de Broglie wavelength lambda. So lambda equal to h, value of h in SI unit is 6.623 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule into second, and then square root of 2 times mass of electron 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 E 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 multiplied by accelerating potential V. So if you simplify this expression, then lambda comes out to be 12.2 divided by square root of V multiplied by 10 raised to minus 8 meters. So this particular wavelength in angstrom will become lambda equal to 12.2 square root of V in angstrom. So this is simplest formula for calculating de Broglie wavelength associated with moving electron if its accelerating potential V is known. What we are going to do now is we will work out some of the numerical examples. In one example, we will be considering a microscopic particle or microscopic object such as electron accelerated by some potential, and in some other example we will consider a macroscopic object moving with certain velocity, and then these examples will give us an idea about the order of magnitude of wavelength associated with these particles. What is the wavelength associated with microscopic particle, and what is the wavelength associated with the macroscopic object or a large size object. So here is the first example. Suppose I have an electron, and that electron is accelerated by potential of 100 volt. An electron is accelerated by potential of 100 volt. Then what is de Broglie wavelength associated with this moving electron? Answer to this question is lambda equal to 12.2 divided by square root of V. This gives me de Broglie wavelength in angstrom. If you substitute value of V, accelerating potential, 12.2 divided by square root of 100, then 12.2 divided by 10, and this gives me lambda equal to 1.22 angstrom. This is the answer. This is very interesting in a sense that if you consider a microscopic particle such as an electron, then wavelength, de Broglie wavelength associated with the wave, electron wave, is appreciable. This particular value is significant in a sense that this is of the order of distance between two neighboring atoms in a crystal, or this is of the order of lattice constant of a crystal which can be experimentally determined. experimentally determined. So this value is significant. So a de Broglie wavelength associated with wave of a microscopic particle is appreciable and can be measured experimentally. Another example which I am going to consider is of a macroscopic object. Suppose I have a marble ball having mass 20 gram. I have a marble ball having mass 20 gram and is moving with velocity 10 meter per second. Let us calculate de Broglie wavelength associated with this moving marble ball. Lambda is given by h upon p, which is h upon mv, linear momentum of the marble in this case, marble ball in this case. This is equal to 6.623 into 10 raised to minus 34 divided by mass 20 gram converted into SI. So 20 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg multiplied by 10 meter per second, 10 meter per second. So this gives me 6.623 divided by 2. This is actually 200. So 2 into 10 raised to 2, so minus 3, 10 raised to minus 1, that goes in the numerator. And what I have here is 10 raised to minus 33, 10 raised to minus 3. So lambda is 3.3 roughly, 3.31 into 10 raised to minus 33 in meters, because we are calculating this in SI unit. So how is this wavelength? How is this de Broglie wavelength associated with moving marble ball, which is a macroscopic object? This wavelength is too small to be detected experimentally. The de Broglie wavelength is very small. It cannot be detected experimentally. So almost negligible, you can say. So this is the conclusion from these two examples, that when you consider microscopic object, then de Broglie wavelength associated with it is significant, and when you consider macroscopic object, the de Broglie wavelengths are very small, which cannot be detected experimentally. And next time we will discuss Davison-Germer experiment. So let us stop here.